All right. Man United 2, Chelsea 1. A game of football that was played at Old Trafford. And at the United Matters channel, we've already gone ahead, obviously, give them the narrative between Manchester United, for the Man United fans. And here we are to talk about the Chelsea side because Chelsea fans need to obviously know how this game of football really went ahead to transpire. Chelsea got a red card in the 50th minute, and it was Robert Sanchez sent off. And that resulted into Chelsea going a man down. United capitalized onto the chance of Chelsea being one man down, and Bruno Fernandes in the 14th minute went ahead to get United the lead, and Carlos Casemiro in the 37th minute went ahead to obviously double the lead. And after scoring and doubling the lead for Manchester United, Carlos Casemiro 13 minutes later, he got himself a second yellow card and he was sent off the field of play. And United were really roaring, and he really went ahead to obviously pour water onto the roar and the fire that United had gone ahead to bring to the side of Chelsea. And Chelsea in the 80th minute saw Trevor Chalobah pull one back, but couldn't obviously help them really win that beautiful game of football. But that comes in through after Chelsea have gone ahead to fail to win in their previous two games. 2-2 against Brentford, that is last weekend. And obviously, as Chelsea went ahead to obviously play in the midweek away at Bayern Munich, they really lost by 3-1. And they've gone ahead to play 2 consecutive games away from home, one in Munich and one in Manchester. That is really very tiresome for the side of Chelsea. And this is where a big squad will obviously come and help you. But I looked at Chelsea and their manager when the second half really began, when they really came back into the game. But Enzo Maresca really had something to play for when they really got a red card. He was like, I'm going in for respect. When he saw to it that 2 goals went in, he took off Carl Palmer, and he was like, please, Carl Palmer, get off. Let's obviously play for the respect of this club and see to it that we don't really shame this club of Chelsea. And obviously, when the red card came in through, he obviously had to really rearrange his team and really put in a very huge shift as anticipated. But pressure is accumulating at Chelsea, by the way. However much he took them to the Champions League, you can't give him guarantee that they cannot sack him, because as we speak right now, Chelsea is having 8 points in 5 games, meaning that out of the possible how many points? Out of the possible 15 points, Chelsea have won 8 and they've lost 7. So we wait to see what the side of the board of Chelsea is obviously going to be doing. And you really have to worry a little bit for Chelsea for their upcoming fixtures in there, because from playing the side of Manchester United, they're obviously going to be playing away at Lincoln. That means Chelsea is going to be playing 4 games away. Oh my God. They played Brentford away, They played Bayern away, they played Manchester United away, and they played Lincoln City away. Meaning that their next set of games have to be at home, and I think they need to capitalize onto this. For Lincoln, I know they'll obviously knock them out. That is it. But they are playing Brighton at home. They are playing Benfica at home. Remember, Benfica has gone ahead, obviously, get Jose Mourinho in as their new manager. So Mourinho returns at the Stamford Bridge. They are playing Liverpool on the 4th of October. You understand? So, after the 4th of October, we get to what we call the international break. So, those are the next 2 games they're playing in the Premier League, Brighton and Liverpool. And if he really gets maximum points, the better. If he doesn't, then he'll be one of those managers whose jobs will be in trouble, I tell you. So that is Enzo Maresca for you, and he's really trying to put in a very huge shift altogether for the club of Chelsea, and seeing that his team has gone ahead to obviously lose out. But let me talk about Sanchez, the goalkeeper. I'm one of those that was pissed and shocked when Chelsea couldn't obviously get in a goalkeeper. And I won't be shocked if at all around January, Chelsea will obviously go ahead to obviously fetch in what we call to fetch in what we call to fetch in. I won't be surprised when Chelsea goes ahead to obviously fetch in what we call a new goalkeeper. You understand? Because Sanchez and what he did, it's unforgivable. It's unforgivable. You understand? Because if Chelsea gets or really concedes that goal and they're still 11 against 11, I think they stand a better chance to obviously score at least one goal like they did when it was 10-10 and they really pulled one back, meaning that even when Chelsea was having 11 men, they would have gone ahead to compete with Manchester United favorably, and they really had a better front three and a better chance of really maybe taking United and maybe even scoop the very many points that we thought are 3 that have gone ahead to turn into 0 as they really travel back to the side of London. You understand? Because if your front 3 is having Yao Pedro Neto, and Estavo, we all understand that you are really having a better chance to obviously shock any other team that you're obviously going to be facing. So at that juncture, it really comes to our know that Chelsea is really Chelsea, and all those were taken off. Pedro Neto was taken off and Estavo was taken off. Even the player that is the best at Chelsea, and that is Carl Palmer, was also taken off, meaning that the top creators of Chelsea were off the field of play. And if they were there, it would have gone ahead to be a different narrative altogether. And that's the tax you pay when you obviously don't get in a player or a goalkeeper who is really top class. And I don't know why they're really trusting Sanchez, but I would recommend them to go all out for a goalie known as Diego Costa. You understand? Obviously, I would recommend them to obviously go ahead and really sign him, because Diego Costa has shown us that he's a very good goalkeeper and very many clubs are really interested in him. He is proven, and it is Spurs that were really interested in him. But the rest of the players really played very well. That midfield, Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Wesley Fofana, Chalobah was really outstanding, having gone ahead obviously concede an own goal in the Champions League, but he keeps himself alive and kicking in there. So I tell you what, it is really one of those moments that you ask yourself, Sanchez, is he really the goalkeeper that's supposed to be at a team like Chelsea? That is the huge question that really deserves an answer. And I know the answer will be really gotten very, very soon. And the people in there will obviously put in a very huge shift. I know the people at Chelsea will try their level best to see to it that they really get all this and see to it that all goes on as planned. But Sanchez also, in the middle of the week, he went ahead to put in a very huge show. You understand? But that never mattered because they lost 3-1. And even today, he has been the reason as to why they've gone ahead to lose. So if they are really losing, then they should really find a solution. If Man United have gone ahead to find themselves dispose of Andre Onana, who are you to keep Sanchez here when everyone is like, he's a calamitous goalkeeper and you're keeping him at your team? So Chelsea have been beaten, and obviously Sanchez for me is really the reason. And Garnacho was not part of the game, and he was really one of the unused substitutions, though I also thought it was really a very huge mistake made by the manager of Chelsea, as the player who goes by the names of Tariq George, whom he brought on, is not really good at that. I know he's good, but bring Garnacho being played as a left forward and play in Yao Pedro as your center forward. All getting Gittins, you understand? But the manager really chose to do that, and those are the results that he went ahead, obviously getting through as a manager for the club of Manchester United. Your reactions to Man United 2 Chelsea 1 are welcome in the comment section below.